Hey everyone, John here from testprepinsight.com, and today I'm going to be addressing a very simple question. How long should you study for the GRE? Except that the answer isn't so simple. There's a lot to unpack here, but if you stick with me to the end of this video, I'm going to help you work out how long it's going to take you to study for the exam. And by the way, since I'm just going to be covering the high points in this video today, if you find you need some more detail at any point during this video, we also have a full written guide over on our website that has way more information. The quickest way to find that is probably just to Google Test Prep Insight GRE Study Guide. That's the fastest way to get there. All right, so the answer to the question of how long it takes to study for the GRE is, it depends. Honestly, I'm sorry I can't give you a clean and neat answer here, like it takes exactly 100 hours to study for the GRE. I wish that was the case, but there's just no silver bullet. How long you're gonna need to commit to studying for the GRE just depends on a number of factors, including your current score on a diagnostic or practice test, your desired or target score, or how long it's been since you were at school, how strong your math and language skills are, and obviously how much time you can commit to studying each week. Each one of these factors is going to impact your final number. That is the number of hours you're going to need to study, kind of like a sliding scale. So let's consider each of these factors in more detail. First, your current score on a practice test. If you haven't already, you need to take a mock exam as a diagnostic. Your performance on this practice test is going to have an outsized impact on how much time you're going to need to study, because obviously if you crush your practice test, then you don't need to spend as much time studying. However, if you score really poorly, you're clearly going to need more time hitting the books. So first order of business, do a practice test and see what your baseline score is. Then second, your desired or target score. This is probably going to depend on what school or program you're trying to get into. If you're trying to get a master's degree in engineering at Harvard, you'll likely need to score in the high 160s in both quant and verbal. If you only need to score around the 50th percentile versus the 98th percentile, that's going to require a lot less study time. Then next, how long it's been since you were in school. If you've been out of school for some time, that initial practice test is going to seem pretty hard. And that's simply because the GRE tests you on concepts that you haven't seen or used in years, especially on the quant side. Geometry, algebra, pre-calc. Most people do not use these things in everyday life, so if you've been out of school for a while, you will need more time to refresh. Then the next factor, how strong your math and language skills are. This kind of ties in with my last point. If you've been out of school for a while, but you're naturally gifted with math, or you have insanely strong verbal skills, maybe you're a copy editor or a writer, then you're gonna need less time to study for that section of the exam. So be honest with yourself about your natural skills and knowledge base. And then lastly, the final thing that factors in is how much time you can commit to studying each week. Obviously, this won't affect the overall amount of time that you need to study, but it will affect your timeline. If you determine that you need to study for 100 hours, but you can only study 5 hours per week, your study schedule is going to look a lot different than if you can study 50 hours per week. So it affects your calendar timeline, assuming that's what you're thinking of by how long it takes you to study. So with all of these factors in mind, you can probably start figuring out the number of hours and length of time that it's going to take you to prep for the GRE. The general rule of thumb in the GRE prep industry is that it's going to take you around 50 to 200 hours of work to fully prepare. So if your diagnostic is low, you want to score a 165 or better on each section, you've been out of school for a while, and you can only study a few hours per week after work, well, you can probably guess you're going to be closer to the 200-hour mark on that sliding scale. However, if you've got a strong starting point, only need a mid-tier score, you're strong in one area or maybe even both, and you have ample free time to study, well, you might only need 60 or 70 hours. It just really depends, which probably isn't what you want to hear, but it is the truth. But now with that said, if you do want to get that number of necessary hours really nailed down and you want something that's more science than art in creating a study schedule, I'd recommend using a prep course rather than creating your own study plan or leveraging free study resources. One of the main advantages of using a prep course is the study plan that they build for you. They're going to customize a schedule for you personally and hold your hand throughout the whole process. How it works is that when you sign up with most prep courses, they're going to ask you when your exam date is, what your weekly availability to study looks like, and then they're going to have you take that diagnostic test. Then based on your performance on that test, they're going to optimize a plan for you based on your study window. It'll tell you how long it's going to take you to study and exactly what it is that you need to study. Plus, the best part of using a prep course's study schedule as opposed to mapping out your own in Excel is that your schedule within the program updates and changes based on your progress and performance. Most prep companies will add or remove assignments based on how you're coming along and doing in your practice sets, which can be a big value add. But there's also other reasons to use a prep course besides them just telling you how long it's going to take you to study. When you study alone with your own tools and schedule, you're usually limited to books and practice problems. But the nice thing is that full prep programs use these same materials, but also layer on live instruction, on-demand video lectures, performance analytics and progress reports. They give you email support, flashcards, and other useful tools. Or in other words, you get more robust study tools with a prep course versus the DIY approach. So for these reasons, getting a customized study schedule and more robust study resources, I always recommend grabbing a full prep course over a book from Amazon. And by the way, if you do take my advice and opt for a prep course, I have a couple recommendations for you. We've tested and used just about every GRE prep program out there at this point, and if you're trying to keep costs down, I'd highly recommend Magoosh. There's a number of budget prep options out there these days, but they're our favorite in this category. With Magoosh, you get on-demand video lessons for every conceivable topic tested on the GRE, realistic practice problems, including some official problems from past exams, detailed video solutions to review each problem, and a few other nice resources. And the best part is their value. Their course costs just $179. So if you're trying to keep things kind of cheap, then go with Magoosh in this category of more affordable prep courses. Or if cost is not a concern, or at least less of a concern, then go with Manhattan Prep or Kaplan. Both of these are the best that we've seen and reviewed in the GRE prep space. They're the next level up from Magoosh, and they offer deeper resources, including live classes, which can make a massive difference. Having a regular live class schedule helps hold you accountable, and the classes offer deeper instruction that you can't get on your own with on-demand videos and books. Plus, just generally speaking, you get more of them and at a higher quality. These courses will cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of $800 to $1,000, but the Kaplan and Manhattan Prep courses are very, very good. And even at that, Manhattan Prep and Kaplan, as well as Magoosh, are all really aggressive with running deals and special promotions, and you can almost always find a discount on their courses, so make sure to check for coupon codes. In fact, I'll do my best to keep the description down below, updated with the most current discounts that I can find floating around out there for you, so give that text below the video screen a good look before buying. You can usually save at least 10% or more with each of these companies, so make sure to check that out. But anyway, that sort of covers everything I wanted to talk about, so let me give you some quick final thoughts. But real quick, before I get to that and I forget, I should mention that since you're studying for the GRE, every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we actually give away a free prep course to one lucky person. It's super simple to enter and everyone is eligible. I'll put all the details down below in the description on how to get entered, but just know it takes like 10 seconds and hey, you never know, you could win yourself a totally free GRE prep course. Okay, so to kind of wrap this up, how long it's going to take you to study for the GRE is just going to depend on a number of factors. Again, take a practice test to see your baseline, firm up your score expectations, and research what your target program requires. Be honest about your strengths and weaknesses, and nail down your studying availability. Once you do that, treat that 50 to 200 hour rule like a sliding scale and estimate where you fall in there. Or if you really want to remove all of the guesswork, just sign up for a prep course, because honestly, that's what I would do. But anyway, that's all I've got for you. I hope this video has been helpful and you learned a little something. If so, please return the favor by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and dropping me a quick comment below. That would be really appreciated. And again, if you want to see that full detailed written guide on this topic that I mentioned earlier in this video, just hop on over to our website. Again, that's testprepinsight.com. Or you can always check out the other videos we have on our YouTube channel. Got a bunch of great video content out there. But as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and I'll see you in the next one.